Okay, here's my review of one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and that is Jurassic World Dominion. First, a little bit of history about me and where I'm at with these movies, and sort of my background with these movies really, and that is I'm a massive fan of the Jurassic Park movies, especially that original. The original was the first movie that I ever saw in the cinema when I was a child. I think I was about 4 or 5, and I remember it scaring the life out of me. But it's a film that sort of, it helped give birth to my passion for film. And yeah, so that first movie, Jurassic Park, holds a very special place in my heart. It's one of those movies that really, this is why I'm here talking about film. It's because of these movies and these movies that I grew up with. And then we got Jurassic World. The start of the Jurassic World trilogy, directed by Colin Trevorrow, and I absolutely loved it. I'm probably one of those very few die-hard fans of the original movie that actually can say that. I really liked Jurassic World because I think what Colin Trevorrow did with that movie was proper tap into the nostalgia of those fans that watched that movie as a child, grew up with those films, and I think he did a great job at capturing that magic. Don't get me wrong, it's not as good as that first movie, but I think what he did with Jurassic World was really kind of tap into what I, as a fan, loved about the movies, about that original movie, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Jurassic World. I've not done a review of it, but it was in my top 10 movies of that year, if I remember correctly. It's a very old video, but yeah. And then Fallen Kingdom was a bit of a step down. I liked Fallen Kingdom. I liked some of the horror elements, but it was a bit of a step down for me from Jurassic World. And then we've got Jurassic Dominion, the final in this new trilogy, and one of my most anticipated movies of the year. So what did I think? So first of all, I was really glad that Colin Trevorrow was returning, because I just liked what he did with that first movie, and so I was just hoping for something really good. There are what I will start off with saying some of the positives, and that is I really like some really nice scenes and some moments with the dinosaurs in this film. The cinematography is really nice, and there are some beautiful scenes, beautiful shots, and beautiful moments. I enjoyed almost every moment with the dinosaurs, and a couple of the moments that I really like include it's in the trailer with Claire, the character of Claire played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and it's in the jungle, and she's sort of got to try and sneak away from this dinosaur that's slowly creeping up behind her, and it has that sort of kind of horror vibe that the first, those original movies had. And I just loved the entire sort of way that scene played out with the camera and sort of the angles and all of that. I really dug it. But it's a very small moment, and like I said, there's a lot of these really nice, good moments dotted throughout the movie, but there's also very few of them. There's another scene as well. It's in the trailer. It's with Chris Pratt's character on horseback, trying to herd these dinosaurs. I forgot the name of the dinosaur, but it's the one with the Elvis quiff.
The one with the big red horn, the pompadour, Elvis!
And again, a really nice scene, a really nice moment. I liked it. It was good. I really enjoyed it. But again, a very small moment in what was a very, it was a very small moment in the middle of what is a lot of shit, basically. And that's, this is me getting straight into the negatives now, because I think I've pretty much touched on what really stood out to me that I liked. And so yeah, it's a 2.5 hour film. Now, usually I wouldn't complain about the runtime being too long, because I'm one of those people that prefer a longer film as long as it serves the story and the narrative, and it works within the narrative. It doesn't need to be that long, basically. And this didn't, and it's because of the story that they were trying to tell, this narrative that was very convoluted, very messy, and the movie just crumbles under all of that weight of what they are trying to attempt in this film. There's a lot of ideas, and fortunately those ideas are it just crumbles. It's a mess. That's all I can say. I was looking forward to seeing sort of us living alongside the dinosaurs. That was one aspect of this movie that I was really looking forward to, and it doesn't really do a deep dive into it like I was hoping it would. And it's because we got all this other shit going on, like the corporate side of it, and just characters that I didn't care for. And you've even got you've got the original cast returning, so the original cast from the first movie, which I was really excited for. I was really looking forward to seeing Sam Neill and Laura Dern and Jeff Goldblum return to these roles, because why not? I'm a massive fan of that original movie, so of course I'm going to be. But the one thing that I was hoping for was it would feel natural, that they return into this franchise would feel natural and wasn't just like they were just doing it for the sake of doing it. And unfortunately that's how it felt. And it was all, it was great to see them again. As a fan of those original movies, it was great to just see them again playing these characters. But you've got Jeff Goldblum return as Dr. Ian Malcolm, and like I said, it was great to see him play the character again. But his character just didn't feel right for me in this movie. I feel like what Goldblum has been doing lately is play Goldblum. He plays Jeff Goldblum. He's a very quirky individual, and in his most recent movies over recent years, I feel like that's what we've got with him. And we get that here. We don't actually get Dr. Ian Malcolm that we know from the first two movies. I felt, anyway, my personal opinion, this wasn't the same character. And yes, people change over time, but I just felt like we were getting Jeff Goldblum. And so, yeah. The writing is terrible. The music, the score is average. There are some nice moments. They do bring back the theme here and there, but they kind of pull back on it, so we don't get the full version of the theme, which left me thinking why. It's almost like they were teasing us. And the special effects, the CGI is good. I mean, it varies, but it's pretty good. But again, I think the CGI, the special effects in that original movie were better than some of the effects we get in this. A 1993 movie compared to a 2022 movie, and I still to this day think that some of the effects in Jurassic Park are better and look more real than they do in a lot of the most recent movies that we get today that's full of CGI and special effects, like these most recent Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies. What made the original movies work for me was that you had this science fiction story, but it always felt grounded in a sense of reality. It felt that the story existed within the real world, that it was something that we could all touch and smell. Yes, we've got this story where scientists bring back dinosaurs, but it was still grounded in this kind of reality. It had that sense of realism about it as well. And so, as a result, we were immersed into into this world and into this story. And that, for me, was what sort of added to the magic of that original movie and those first couple of films, was that sense of realism. But we completely lost all of that with Dominion. It's gone, devoid, and as a result, it completely lost me. We kind of got it a little bit in Fallen Kingdom. I felt like that's when the decline really began with Fallen Kingdom, and with this, that magic that those first two films had, or especially that original movie had, we completely lost it with this film. It just felt so out there. And I know I'm talking about a film where we've got dinosaurs living among us, but like I said, you know, I've already explained why those original movies for me worked. And, you know, as a kid, when you know, it does help, whether you're a child or an adult, that if you've got that sense of realism, that groundedness with a sort of a fantastic story, it does help immerse you as an audience member. And if you haven't got that, then I feel you lose a lot of that magic. And this one was just so out there. At times, like, you've got a scene with Claire who's running on top of rooftops in Malta, and I thought, are we watching The Bourne Identity here? And it was like, it was a mix, a blend of a spy movie with the Fast and Furious, with a few dinosaurs just sort of throwing in the mix. And that's how it felt. This movie was Jurassic Park or Jurassic World on steroids, but in a bad way. It was just not the Jurassic Park film, or, you know, the Jurassic World film that I wanted. It was like Jurassic. A lot of people compared it to feeling like a Fast and Furious movie, where it's ridiculously over the top, and that's what it felt like. That, I mean, there's scenes in this film, especially, you know, include mainly the Malta scene, and I'm like, what am I watching now? Like, what is this? This is not what I want. So yeah, I seen this last weekend. It's taking me a week to sort of bring myself to do a review. I really wanted to do a review for this, but I've been really sort of thinking about it, and I am massively disappointed. You know, I'm a massive fan of those original movies. You know, I've grown up watching these films and loving them, and I really like Jurassic World. So with Colin Trevorrow returning, I was really, really looking forward to this film. So for me, it was a crushing disappointment. And, you know, I will be, you know, being such a hardcore fan of that original movie, I will find any way that I can to sort of find something to love or hope, you know, or like about this film. And apart from what I've already mentioned with some of the positives, you know, there are a few positives in this. You know, like I said, there are some nice moments with the dinosaurs when you actually get those moments. But overall, it's just a giant mess of a movie, convoluted with characters. You know, you've got a villain, your corporate guy, didn't give a fuck for him and about him, and I just thought he was annoying more than anything. You know, nothing overall sort of what really sums this up is like nothing felt natural, nothing sort of worked, nothing sort of just kind of melded together. The entire experience was just
that is one big pile of shit.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, life doesn't find a way with this movie, and I will be giving Jurassic World Dominion a 3 out of 10. And I think that might actually be me being generous. I mean, that 3 out of 10 is for those moments that I did like, and for those sort of, yeah, so for those glimmers of hope that were in this film, in this mess. But massive disappointment for me. But what do you guys think? What did you guys think of this latest or the final installment in the Jurassic World trilogy? Please let me know below, and let's get a discussion going. And if you've reached this far into the video, thanks, I really do appreciate it. And if you want to see future reviews from me, from just some Welsh guy, ramble on about film, TV and everything geeky, then please hit the subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And again, yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you soon.